It's the Cable MTG Show.
I pack one, pick one that Flage, and I'm second guessing myself. Now what, huh? Lelia follows the Flage pick pretty well. Could take Force of Will. They should have crammed an Oracle the Alpha in there. I would have liked to see that. They made a big deal about how they weren't including any arena-only cards, but I was like, there's a few that make a lot of sense. And Oracle the Alpha is one of them. They could have been like, we're literally only putting in Oracle the Alpha because it's super cool. And everyone was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Powered Cube, Oracle the Alpha, perfect. I do like the dragon that where you play Momir Vig when you attack. I think that card's gas too. You'd rather have no arena only cards than something that's as stuffed as the Chromatic Cube is, but those aren't the only two options. Big Agree Mana Wargs. Yeah, there's a huge range in between those two, yeah. Man, blue has been so open. And now I'm considering like taking the Kitten here to pair with this Grim Monolith. The Faithless Looting is really good with Flage. Death Creators Champion is just good in general. So it feels like I kind of have to make some kind of decision here, huh? Hate that. Hate that for me. This song's so egregious. The 4-mana thing that makes Ragavans. That card's like clearly good enough for Vintage Cube, but I don't know if it's like interesting enough to justify being an arena only card in there, right? I do think their instinct to limit arena only cards is good. Wouldn't want to have it just like divulge into the Chromatic Cube, but everyone's like playing their cards 3 turns sooner. Have like one per color, one arena only card per color. I like that. Puts like a natural limit on it, but then still lets them like distinguish themselves from other cubes. And it wouldn't be so different from a typical Vintage Cube draft experience to put people off either. We saw Stoneforge Mystic earlier. I don't think it's wheeling. Gotta be better green-white arena-only cards. They're just, like, not keeping that color balance. Mana Wargs, they don't have the same color balance. They actually downgraded a lot of the gold cards from what Magic Online is running. That's, like, one of the spots where there's a bunch of differences. Like, they've got Lightning Helix in there instead of 4th, and Bloodbraid Elf instead of Bloodbraid Champion. Huh. More tempted by that Ancient Tomb than I should be. Or the Manifold Key with Grim Monolith. It's like kind of a sick thing. Just grab Strand here. It'll be some kind of Jeskai nonsense. You feel on average there's been more requests for a No Alchemy Vintage Cube than some of the comments are implying? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Part of that is a reaction to them, like, just, like, stuffing all these, like, high-text alchemy-only cards. And some cubes where, like, there's just, like, a ton of edits, too. And your cards just, like, don't work how you expect them to. I feel like they've cut back on that shit in the last few cube iterations, largely because of feedback. Back-to-back mana drain decks. Ooh, Bombardiers. It is our talisman. Oh, there's 2 talismans. We might wheel one, huh? Give me that Bombardiers. A little Ragavan action. But as someone that's a fan of cube diversity, of having options, I'm a little sad that one of Arena's cube slots is getting replaced by the exact same Magic Online cube. And I'm using exact same a little hyperbolic, but it's like quite a bit the same, right? Like, it's not a matter of Wizards offering something, and then if you don't like it, you can just not buy it. It's literally replacing a product that I liked on the shelf, and I won't see that product as often because they're putting like more of the same cube that I like tend to burn out on because it's on Magic Online so often. I think I have a right to be a little disgruntled there. Oh, interesting, Rami Ray. I've always found it much easier to go infinite on Magic Online. Like, you literally need a much lower win rate. But everyone's a little different, and I could certainly understand having different win rates on different clients. Or banking winnings in one format and feeding them into another. Yeah, I did the math on stream here a few weeks back for the difference in win rates needed on both clients, but I think Saffron Olive did a more exhaustive article. You're not saying it's easier, just that you already did it? Yeah, fair enough, Remy Ray. Fair enough. Wasn't trying to put words in your mouth. What cube is it replacing? Yeah, it's just going to be part of the cube cycle. So who knows if they're going to like completely cut one of the other cubes, or if the other two cubes are just going to be played like a third as often. Oh, wow. Yeah, I love all three of these. I'm going to take the Athari. Why are they competing against themselves? Well, they're not killer. So Wizards owns Arena. They do not own Magic Online. They lease Magic Online to Daybreak Games. So I wouldn't say that they're competing with themselves here. Rather, they're competing with their past selves that they sold to a competing company. But they have to pretend like they're not competing with themselves with Daybreak, because like Magic Online is the only place that you can play a bunch of Wizard supported formats, like Modern. It's very awkward, in my opinion. Was the Goblin Bombardment in this pack or the last pack? I'm just thinking about this Ajani, whether I want it, or maybe I'll just grab this Arid Mesa I'll stay a little controlling. It was this pack? Alright, give me the damn Ajani then. Man is looking pretty reasonable. I do like this Passage card. I think it's better than Vantage. You wish they'd bring back the Boomer Cube? Me too. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a breath of fresh air. They said that like it didn't sell well enough for them to bring it back. But I kind of wonder how much of that was them like only having it up for a week and not promoting it. Could be none. I don't know. I could be super wrong. Could be super off base there. Got some nice OG duels here, huh? There was a Boomer Cube at CubeCon. Yeah, there were a few. I drafted the Old Border powered Desert Cube. And I had drafted it as not a Desert Cube before, and so it was kind of fun to draft the Desert version. I think I like Flame of Anor here, even though we don't really have Wizards. Gadgeteer, but Monolith plus Monolith is infinite. Not this Monolith. Gadgeteer plus this Monolith would let me untap the Monolith infinite times. But besides that, we're not really doing much with infinite colorless mana either, huh? I'm just activating a Relic or casting an Ugin, maybe. Not especially exciting. This Flicker Wisp isn't really doing much. Oh yeah, thanks for explaining that, Dragonheart. Yeah, Desert Cube is when you just draft all the lands that you're going to use, and they have extra lands in the packs. And sometimes typically the packs are larger to account for it too. So you'll be drafting from like 3 20-card packs instead of the usual allotment. What's the contract where it's allowed on Daybreak? So I'm sure Wizards could use Universes Beyond cards if they wanted to, but it would cost them money. And the reason that I'm saying that is I've heard other cube people's restrictions for having cubes on Magic Online. And usually it's like you can have some Universes Beyond cards, but not too many. So I think they do have to pay some licensing, some amount of their like total profits towards like the owners of Lord of the Rings and stuff. And the thing is, the licensing for each different IP is different. So they like Wizards has made a different contract with each different IP owner, which is why you don't see like Warhammer cards in the powered cube, even though there's some that would be very cool. You just don't see them because it'd be like super prohibitive. Games Workshop wants to treat it like every time you draft a card, it's like buying the card or something like that. Normal shenanigans for them. How do you feel about this Mystical Tutor? I think I don't want it. And then that makes the rest of this pretty clean. Just like splashing for mana drain here. What's this fucking swamp doing? Oh man, I don't want to think about this mana base. I'm just gonna like add a land and call it good. And we're fine. Right, Ozo? Oh yeah, Trilly Woolly? Hell yeah. I've had some really bad days where I was just like in a rough spot and I played this album while crying in the shower. And it did help a lot. I did feel much better. I think I'm gonna run this Ragvan out. Currently the Dreadhoard's gonna flashback Inquisition, so if we held on to the Ragavan, it would just get discarded anyway. Oh shit, what up? Hey Triflin, thanks for giving a sub to Trilly Woolly. Hell yeah. I've been dazed. Well, that third path would have been kind of sweet with my bombardment here, huh? Well, that seems bad for me. Yeah, I looted it on my turn. Make sure I get my land drop there. Felt important. This deck that I'm playing right now would be a lot better if we had a fourth in here, Oh, they discarded the Gobin, so they could flashback on Earth on the Gobin. Sure. But now would he's like block and sack and kill the Gobin? Almost mistapped there. So this all seems pretty sick. God, Short Guy's so fucking nuts. Hey, well burninated Fivoyette. Hell yeah. What makes a Johnny so good? Is that a serious question? It just does too much for 2 mana. It's like pushed to be playable in a broken fucking format. A Johnny gets played in Standard. A Johnny does not get played in Standard. It was printed directly into Modern. That's what that symbol means. Modern Horizons card. Should have done this after the Lelio's in play. Could have cleared the Dreadhorde here. I was like, wait a minute. How about I just win? Yeah, Vajani was, if this ability was on like a 3 or 4 mana walker, people would be a little bit less crazy about it. 3 mana would still be quite good. But if Vajani was like just a 4 mana walker, then it's probably not that exciting. 2 mana, however. 2 mana is very good. The -4. The -4 very rarely comes up because usually people die to the 0. You just want to keep on advancing your board presence as you murder your opponent. What does the -4 do? It like wraths your opponent. It's like the... Oh, that's not bad. What's the 2 mana... Or I'm sorry, the 4 mana 2 white white... What's that fucking old sorcery called? That old boomer sorcery people used to play in Legacy. Where everyone chooses like one of a permanent type. Cataclysm. It's sort of like a Cataclysm. Which makes sense on the flip side of a Cat Planeswalker. Shit. I didn't on F6 in time. That talisman should be tapped. Tapped, I say. No loots for you, Dak. What character did I use to beat level 3 in the forest with? The monkey, yeah. The thing I like about the monkey is you get to like jump around very quick in the early game. So you're just like constantly scooping up XP from the ground. You can be pretty well leveled by the time you get to level the end of level 3. And then I also had Aegis and the Multiply Tome is like kind of what I always try to get. Aegis just like gives you the free ride to the late game. It's like 840. I don't hate the idea of playing a little bit tonight after this league's over. I could also see playing some Ball X Pit. Yeah, they know that I have the Sunfall in hand, so I like their decision to put their Lucha to hand instead of running out the subtlety there. Opponent's Hellbent. We'll see if they can rip an instant speed removal spell here for the win. Oh, that's not what that is. No blocks. All right, well. And the Baragway's just barely large enough to break my Kellen here with 7 toughness. Hey, Supreme Matt, thanks for the sub. Thanks for 49 months. The Ajani was a great rip, though, huh? Makes it hard for them to serve in without just letting me flip my Ajani here. It's a treasure cruise. It's pretty fucking good. Got me. Yeah, that was kind of their perfect card for just throwing my board in the trash and winning real easy. Kind of like the idea of Elspeth against them. Play that over Flame of Anor. Get to be on the play here for game 3. Vintage Cube was not a thing. Oh, early 2010s? So 2000... I'm sorry, I misread your comment. In actual 2010, Vintage Cube wasn't a thing. But in 2012, it was. We can look it up. I don't think Stinkweed Imp was ever in Vintage Cube, but I could be wrong. Yeah, no Stinkweed Imp. None of the 5-drop thing. I'll check 2014 too, just to be sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it was ever like Dredge. Actual Dredge was ever a thing on the Magic Online Vintage Cube. I think it'd be fun for them to like put up the 2012 Vintage Cube for like a week and like people play with the old janky cards. I would enjoy that. I know it wouldn't be for everybody, but I get a kick out of that. Yeah, I was surprised when they like curated a thing for the Boomer Cube. Like, I was like, y'all have Boomer Cubes, you know? A little bit of Psytrance up in this. Would a vintage cube that only used constructed cards be possible? Yeah. I would argue that pretty much every current vintage cube is using cards that were only or mostly in legal, like played in a constructed format of some kind. The thing is, there's like a ton of different constructed formats, right? Ooh, that's a good problem to have, Drew. Tempting to Huck Chainsaw, but we can always equip it and hug it next turn, huh? I've actually been working on a 93-94 cube. Aquita's Killer. It's got Menace, friend. Pair it up. Oh, my opponent's playing for the trophy, huh? Opponent's on a mold of 5 over there. I could see us losing to some mold of 5s, but I do feel good burning their elf on turn 1. How early is early stream tomorrow? Probably 10 a.m. Central Time, Ardos, is usually when I start my early streams. It's my wife's birthday, so I want to take her out for dinner. And then I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to stream in the morning or the evening on Saturday. Kind of depends on whether I want to play an RCQ in person in paper, that's standard. It should be a little softer, or stream the Legacy Super RCQ. Both sound like a good time. I'm not really sure what I'd play in Legacy. is one reason I haven't quite decided yet. Is Painter any good right now? Sort of. There's a mono blue Painter list that people play sometimes. I think I'm giving them 2 Nadu triggers here, which I don't love. When did my wife tell me that our first date was also her birthday? And how did I react? So I will tell you, I don't want to get too far into like too much information territory. I will tell you that if someone chooses to spend their birthday with you, that's a good sign. If you're dating and you don't know a lot about a person, and they're like, hey, it's my birthday, that is not a bad sign. That person is interested in you. A compliment? It is indeed a compliment, Mark. This fucking strip mine's brutal. I might be losing this game. Yeah, this is like a really good turn on their part. Oh, they're only at 11, though? Yeah, we'll see. Johnny doing work. Johnny's mostly been treading water, but the opponents had that awkward ancient tomb. Be pretty important for them. I think if we can hit the 5th land for this Athari, we'll be in good shape. That's just a bit much for a blue-green deck to handle. That's how I feel about it, Mark. Well, that's certainly not bad. That game was a good example of why I like Broadside and a Johnny Bombardment so much. It was also a good example of like why I think Ancient Tomb has like kind of fallen off for a lot of drafters. Still very good, especially in the right deck, but not nearly as much as a free roll as it used to be. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Roto Bagel, thanks for the sod. This is 66 months. Is turn 3 Athari good enough against green dot deck? It might be super slow actually. They might just go like turn 1 Mana Dork into like threat plus strip mine, and then you're not playing your Athari on 3. And you get the idea. I'm not super stoked about this opener. That's what I'm getting at. Oh, opponent's on a mold 5 again. Opponent looking for those good openers. I'm actually gonna go to the bathroom real quick, like. right, thanks for hanging out, folks. Thanks for chilling. Well, looking like a pretty good Mold 5 on the play for my opponent here. And they've got the Spring Heart. Nice. Not the worst. Nadu's not a very good one to copy. It is a legend, but they're going to have plenty of creatures sprouting out of that one. Right. Very hard to race an Athari. I think there's a good chance to leave the Nadu bank. Oh, this is going poorly for me, isn't it? The fucking Nadu trigger gave them a land drop so they could pay the 2 for Springheart. Fuck. They're going to redraw back up Nadu too. Hey, Scotty, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? What were you jamming? You were playing drafts. You went like 2 and 10 today. It's fucking not ideal. That can be fun though. If you just like have a bunch of fucking train wrecks in a row. If you're trying something wild. At least you're laughing about it. That's a good sign. I think everybody has those days, right? Where you just like can't buy a fucking win. You want to joe some strangers, KinXI? I'd be willing to give it the green light if I knew what that meant. I was just fucking with my lands. And then it was suddenly my main phase and I played a plains. Okay, fair enough. We're not playing Ragavan turn 1. We're holding up Swords to Plowshares. It's better, trust. Ross started their stream today, 0-7. Fucking brutal. On Monday, it was like the day after CubeCon, and I was super exhausted. And I was like, today's going to be a drink and enforce and mono red sort of day. And we were losing a lot, and my chat was like, so this is why you don't force mono red. And I was like, in my head, I was like, if I was sober right now, if I was sober and drafting like I normally do, I would still be losing a shitload because I was so exhausted from the con. But because I was drinking and forcing mono red, people were like, oh, it's because he's drinking and forcing mono. That's why. I'm like, yeah, no, that's why. That's totally it. Yeah. Titania's not a crazy one to have exile. Hey, KinXI, thanks for gifting a sub to Ross. You think Mox Emerald is better than Llanowar Elves? I mean, if you have a Gaia's Cradle, right? Or your opponent could have a Shatter effect. Make that Mox look real bad. Hey, good night, Scotty. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a pleasant eve. I don't know what fucking save me from this spot. I'm kind of just flooding to bejeebus here. Like, I don't think a Johnny would do it. I think we would need to rip, like, Athari and watch that one pop off. This is pretty rough. Sunfall is in. Sunfall and Damnation. So we actually do have a couple sweepers. Oh, they're making extra sentinels. Yeah, I probably just do need a sweeper hum. His eye still's popping the fuck off. Yeah, I don't think Athari would be nearly good enough anymore. Against their last turn board, Athari would look pretty good. Against this board, no. Nah, dog. Not gonna cut the mustard. They have a Bristly Bill on top, too. That's gonna kill very quickly. Oh, they binned it? I don't get that. Yeah, the bill looks phenomenal with the Gaia's Cradle and the Ice Still Explorer here. In my opinion, anyway. And they have the Forest in the graveyard to, like, start the Ice Still Explorer rolling next turn. Because I feel like I need to rip a sweeper anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and chump with my Ragavan. You want to play to your best chance of winning the game, I think. Take 3, drop to 17. Rip sweeper. Huh. Well, I guess I'll draw 2, huh? Am I dead on board? I don't think so. I think if they killed that bill, they would have way better kill pressure here. If they'd kept the bill on top. I don't think green-blue is known for interaction, Korok. If I was them, I would probably want to kill a full turn sooner. They might have missed that they had a forest in the graveyard already. I've just been looking for landfall stuff. Or they might have been underestimating how easy it is to activate Bill when you've got Gaia's Cradle and such there. Oh, shit, what up? Hey, Daniel Talk Thigh. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for 63 months. Set a tryhard upkeep stomp so I can cycle this Oliphant. Have a slightly higher chance of hitting. Actually, that doesn't work, right? If I land cycle the Oliphant... So, like, you play a sweeper here, they still have the Spring Heart as a 1-1 in play. So we actually need to rip the... We need to rip the 5-mana sweeper that leaves a body behind, and then we can activate. We can sack the treasure token and tap our planes and turn it into a creature to block the Spring Heart. But that's our only out. It's the 1 in 26er here. Well, we didn't hit. Expressive can hit multiple things, though. We could hit the 4-mana sweeper plus a 1-mana removal spell, so we're going to try for that. Mana Drain, Broadside. Good cards, not good in this spot. GG. I think I should have been the Mountain, actually. And then I could have had double blue and double white. Mana Drain in here and a couple Wraths. Last opponent got the trophy. Hey, they earned it, huh? Doesn't seem like the worst card to play off an expressive iteration on turn 3. So here's my relic, your turn. Yeah, assuming some kind of flash critter there, huh? If your opponent goes plains past the turn, there's so many flash creatures in this cube. They're bound to have something. I think I maybe should have swords to the Lele on my turn. For almost all cases, it's not going to matter very much that I played on their turn. Like a remand isn't going to like stop me from reswordsing the Lelia. One way that it could matter, though, is if they played a Crocus for their turn and then went to combat, and then I would swords and they would protect their Lelia with the Crocus. And wouldn't that be annoying? We have two options here. We can either untap the Grim Monolith or loot with the Relic and just cast the Ugin normal-like. I think I like untapping the Monolith and just having a shitload of mana. They're both good lines, though. This might be a bad dam, but I kind of like it. Hey, well done, Emily. Hey, Randall KTO. Thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Yeah, welcome, Raiders. Welcome, folks. We're playing a little bit of Vintage Cube here. I might switch over to another game at the tail end of the night. Might play some Mega Bonk or Ball Pit or something. Fair enough. You watch every vid, every single vid? That's so many vids. That's a Cube fan right there, I tell you what. Oh shit, what up? Kenixai throwing out the gift sub. You love to see it. Thanks, Kenixai. Congrats, Randall. Well, this turn was pretty fucked up. Y'all remember when they had a board? Yeah. Ugin is so disheartening to play against. Real fucked up card. It's just got so much starting loyalty, and then you're gaining life, drawing cards. Hagelgari, long legs, 17 months there. Take your prime sub king, long live David Lynch. Sure, I'll drink to that. To David Lynch. I like a lot of like artsy movies and stuff. I like a lot of artsy movies and shows and whatnot. But I gotta say, I don't understand David Lynch even a little bit. It's been a while since I tried to watch one of his movies. I had a friend that was really into that Velvet film that he did, and was like, Caleb, you're gonna love this. I watched it and I was like, what the fuck? What is this? I don't have the attention span for this. Can't we watch like a black and white Japanese film from the 1950s or something? What am I watching here? Can we watch something a little bit more accessible, please? What about Twin Peaks? I think I tried to watch Twin Peaks. Maybe I was trying to watch it without subtitles or something, but that one also didn't quite land for me. Understanding isn't the point. Yeah, I feel like for most things, understanding is a little bit the point. Vibes can do a lot. That Flage is fucking fierce. I think we need this authority to do some work, huh? Give me some life back. Art is subjective. You still love my content? I don't accept that. We have to fucking duel in the streets in a muddy puddle or something. We need this fucking casual acceptance of our benign disagreement will not stand for me. God, this Athari is just popping the fuck off. It's popping off so hard. I think I'm gonna run out of the planes here, and then we're gonna activate Shorekai and play a Swords. Seems likely that they're gonna Flage here on their turn. Back for another one of those block rockin' beats. I will choose to block. Yeah, I was gonna bring back Athari this turn, but unfortunately for my opponent, we have better lines than rebuy Athari. Yeah. God, that was fucked up. All right, it's 9:30, which is a bit late to jam another draft. However, it's a bit early to tune in. Don't you all agree?